What happens when the world ends, and you're the only one who refuses to run? A colossal tower pierces the sky above a panicked city. Citizens scream about the apocalypse while a lone warrior raises his sword, rallying humanity's last desperate stand. The tower hasn't just appeared, it summoned them. And the fight for survival is about to begin. Meet the Tower Walkers, humanity's chosen warriors who dare to climb these nightmarish spires. A cloaked figure emerges from shadow as monstrous screeches echo through the darkness. Then chaos. A warrior dashes forward and delivers a devastating slash, blood spraying as enemies fall. But victory comes with a price and a choice. The Regression Stone, a glimmering blue crystal that can turn back time itself. A burly fighter grips it desperately, declaring he'll give it a try. Energy explodes from the stone as reality bends around them. A young warrior watches with tension etched on his face. Has his companion truly vanished into the past? The survivors face an impossible choice. One fighter curses their doomed fate while another reaches for his own stone. In the shadows, cloaked watchers count the falling walkers with grim resignation. Are these truly the last ones to abandon this timeline? The desperation is suffocating as hope crumbles around them. A monstrous roar splits the air as chaos erupts. Our protagonist, sweat streaming down his face, calls urgently for his companion Jaehwan. But when he finds him, Jaehwan lies motionless among the debris. The battle has taken its toll, and some wounds run deeper than others. A mysterious figure confronts the bloody Jaehwan, who whispers a broken apology. As light erupts from the ground with thunderous rumbles, one haunting question lingers in the air. What about the world they left behind? The very foundation of their reality begins to crack. Standing against a desolate, snow-swept wasteland, Jaehwan makes his declaration. He's not going back. He's not returning to the past. As an icy wolf-like creature materializes in the storm, he clenches his fist with unwavering resolve. No one in history has ever tried to face this alone, but he's going forward. Jaehwan grips his sword in the tower's shadows, blue eyes burning with determination. His goal, to climb the tower. But outside, a sinister figure watches through broken windows, sharp teeth gleaming in a predatory grin. He's about to get his hands on something very valuable, and Jaehwan has no idea what's coming. In a surreal twist, we find our hero in a convenience store, caught red-handed with a bag of chips. A curious little boy accuses him of theft with innocent indignation, admiring the same snacks. But this moment of absurdity is shattered as breaking news announces seismic activity near Seoul. Even in normalcy, danger lurks. The government warns of increasing earthquake activity as two civilians question the chaos outside. Suddenly, rumbling shakes the building. Debris crashes down as panic erupts. A child's terrified eyes reflect the overwhelming destruction as their world literally crumbles around them. Amid the crumbling ruins, Jaehwan encounters a frightened child clinging to survival. The little one asks about the strange noises while masked and scared. In this broken world of debris and snow, even the innocent become casualties of humanity's desperate struggle. The towers aren't just in Seoul. These nightmare spires have emerged across the globe, England, Japan, everywhere. A girl and her younger companion gaze out at the ominous structure through their window. Then comes the notification. You've been selected to become a Tower Walker. Accept or refuse. The choice that will define humanity's fate. The orange glow of Tower Walker fills the screen as someone accepts the call. A young man with spiky red hair appears shocked at this new reality. Those who responded joined the fight within these towering structures, equipped with powers by an otherworldly system. But they quickly realize this is no game. Construction workers in neon vests stare in disbelief at the approaching tower. One points in shock, while another gestures toward the horizon. Near a prison, a chained man desperately tries to warn others of the danger. The signs are everywhere, but few understand what's coming. A monstrous face grins with predatory hunger as explosive light erupts around it. When creatures swarm from the towers into our world, it's called a tower impact. Warning sirens wail as the very air seems to tear apart from supernatural force. The invasion has begun. Explosions shake the earth as massive forces are unleashed. A green, fanged creature roars its fury, while a white-haired figure stands alongside giant beasts. The ground is littered with rubble as thunderous sounds echo across the devastated landscape. This is war on an unimaginable scale. The grim statistics are revealed. 1/3 of the world's population wiped out by the monster invasion. A worried man expresses his distress, while a woman gasps in horror. But from the darkness, a confident voice rises, calling others to become tower walkers and save what remains of humanity. Voices cry out with determination to save the world. They accept the call with desperate hope, believing they can end this nightmare by beating the tower. Armed with special powers, these tower walkers become humanity's last hope. They begin their ascent, ready to face whatever horrors await. The team encounters their first obstacle, a massive rock wall blocking their path. While one member doubts they can pass, another suggests breaking through. A heavy-set warrior with a mace proves simplicity works best. As the wall crumbles, they discover something glowing among the debris. The discovery stops them cold. A regression stone that can turn back time. Disbelief fills their voices as they process this revelation. In Kaihyung, their leader volunteers to test it himself. Energy erupts from the crystal as the group watches in shock. Some choices change everything forever. Blue light mesmerizes them as they witness the stone's power firsthand. Sakamoto, a former science teacher, attempts to explain the complex theories behind time travel and parallel universes. The group struggles to understand whether their leader can ever return from the past he's entered. Sakamoto reveals the cosmic truth. Parallel universes have split into separate timelines. When their leader went back, his world and theirs became completely divided. One character panics at this terrible realization, while others try to process the implications. The timelines will never converge again. A cloaked figure explains that the stones send users to different timelines, though he admits it's just a hypothesis. Meanwhile, ominous clouds gather as another tower sparks with lightning. The presence of a second tower doubles their problems and amplifies the supernatural threat they face. A massive creature screams as chaos swirls around towering structures. Dark storm clouds and debris create an apocalyptic atmosphere. The remaining tower walkers face an impossible decision. Should they use the regression stone to return to the past before humanity is completely wiped out? The alternative question haunts them. Should they stay here and die? An explosion rocks their reality as a tentacled monstrosity emerges, its grotesque face promising only destruction. Characters are thrown about like ragdolls as chaos consumes everything around them. Desperate cries for help echo as twisted tendrils attack from blood-red backgrounds. A blonde fighter realizes they've crossed the line into hopelessness. In the debris-filled wasteland, a dark-haired warrior stands solemnly, blood marking his face as he apologizes. There's no hope left anymore. A tentacled beast screeches with its gaping maw full of razor teeth. The dark-haired warrior confronts it head-on while a masked fighter grips two gleaming swords. Swift slashes cut through the air as they engage the creature in desperate combat, their weapons flashing with deadly precision. Blood splatters mark the aftermath of battle. A young man with a keen smile checks on his companions, asking if they're all right. A red-haired fighter expresses frustration about others abandoning them. In the bright debris field, two figures contemplate those who chose to flee rather than fight. The red-haired boy expresses his gratitude to those who stayed until the very end. From the shadows, a pale hand emerges, holding a luminous blue crystal that pulses with otherworldly energy. This moment marks another crossroads where difficult choices must be made about their shared fate. The call rings out. Let's go. These remaining warriors have made their choice, to save the world in the present rather than retreat to the past. They are humanity's last defenders, seizing the day with the motto, Carpe Diem. Their hooded forms move forward into uncertainty, determined to face whatever comes. Jaehwan lies battered and bloodied among burning debris, gasping for air. His shirt torn, face marked with wounds, he questions where it all went wrong. In desperate anguish, he grips his bloodied weapon and releases a primal scream that echoes his pain and determination to keep fighting. Jaehwan dashes forward with fierce determination, shouting reassurance to his allies. A hooded figure wielding a weapon threatens an unseen monster with deadly intent. The battlefield charges with energy as they prepare for a pivotal confrontation that could determine everything. The ominous declaration, "To die," cuts through the air as a spinning object slices forward. A sandy-haired warrior in a dark cloak fights with blood-splattered fury. From stone arches filled with debris, voices ask about casualties. Miraculously, no one has died. The wounded will recover with rest. In the stone corridors, optimism briefly surfaces as they discuss reaching the final floor. A character discovers a magnificent sword called Wormsane with excitement. But unease creeps in. Everything seems too smooth, too easy. Their suspicions prove well-founded as danger approaches. On the 98th floor, the Chamber of Hellfire lives up to its name. Jaehwan stares upward in fear as a jackal-like monster looms with glowing red eyes and a fiery maw. The creature's massive form dominates the flame-filled chamber, while our heroes struggle against overwhelming odds. Jaehwan charges through the chaos at high speed, narrowly dodging devastating attacks. He connects with crushing impact, sending debris flying, but his face reveals both determination and pain. Looking ahead, he cries out in realization. It was all for nothing. The weight of their struggle becomes unbearable. Ice shards fall like deadly rain as panicking survivors dodge from above. They reflect on all their time spent climbing the tower together. The bloody Jaehwan questions if this pathetic death is truly their end. A monstrous dragon appears, its orange belly glowing ominously, fierce red eyes promising doom. The battle erupts with swift strikes and counterattacks. Jaehwan launches himself forward in his tattered cloak while his opponent moves with crackling dark energy. Yinhuan calls out desperately, begging Jaehwan to snap out of it. The chaos of combat fills the air with debris and desperation. Jaehwan leaps with desperate determination, admitting he can't finish the beast alone. The jackal-like creature fixes its glowing eyes on him moments before being stabbed. Blood spatters across the chaotic scene as Jaehwan suffers the consequences, blood trickling from his wounded mouth. The battle-worn fighter faces a massive dragon with its mouth wide, displaying rows of sharp teeth. Yinhuan shouts with urgency and concern as debris crashes around them. The dragon stomps heavily with threatening force, its glowing eyes radiating pure aggression in this life-or-death confrontation. The dragon's roar shakes the very foundations as debris rains down with explosive force. A dark-haired boy appears alarmed, dirt and blood marking his scratched face. He grits his teeth in determination despite the blood on his lip. A shadowy foot steps forward, signaling an approaching threat. An ornate sword is gripped tightly as tension reaches its peak. Eyes reflect the chaos while a clash rings out with a sharp ping. A shadowy figure brandishes a glowing sword that leaves trails of light. Questions arise about a mysterious glow before explosive energy builds toward transformation. Jaehwan leaps with fierce determination, his disheveled appearance showing the toll of battle. A creature with glaring red eyes watches as he charges forward with energy trailing behind him. Explosive effects mark the impact of his strike as the World After the Fall title appears dramatically. Yinhuan coughs desperately beside bubbling lava as Jaehwan calls for him to continue. The dragon's gaping maw reveals rows of sharp teeth while Yinhuan, bloodied but determined, shows both exhaustion and resolve. A mysterious figure sits with a chilling grin, anticipating the upcoming clash with sinister pleasure. A fallen, bloody armored figure lies among the ruins as Yunhuan asks in shock if Jaehwan is. Jaehwan, with messy blonde hair and blood on his face, softly apologizes. Memories surface of happier times. The smiling knight who always brought hope despite the tower's gloom and misery. The smiling knight has lost his smile. The dark-haired figure warns him to leave before changing his mind, clutching a spiked stone ominously. In this rubble-filled environment pierced by faint light, emotions blend tension with profound sadness. The stone really is too pitiful for what it represents. Jaehwan treads carefully over blood-slicked stairs as a voice acknowledges his unexpected strength. Gripping his sinister weapon, he contemplates his next move while a distant figure appears silhouetted in a doorway. Recognition dawns on his face as he mutters, "It's you," facing an unseen adversary. Wind sweeps through as Yunhuan pushes desperately against a large door. A single leaf taps against the barrier while haunting faces appear around him. He gathers his resolve, muttering that he needs to keep moving. A beam of light shines through the door, indicating hope ahead. Swirling winds carry intense blue light from an icy portal as the distressed young man stares wide-eyed. Sweat glistens on his skin as apprehension fills his expression. The landscape transforms into a cold, snowy wilderness filled with towering ice formations. He questions what he's seeing. Is that snow? A determined warrior pants heavily as he rushes forward, his muscular arm prominent. A swirling blue energy orb forms in his hand before bursting into a massive explosion of ice and shards. A figure is launched backward by the blast force while additional energy swirls past with a strained URGH. What power has he unleashed? In the frozen wasteland, the icy beast snarls with contempt, taunting Jaehwan about giving up. But our determined hero smirks back, ice coating his hand as he prepares his counterattack. His defiant response cuts through the cold air like a blade. The clash erupts with devastating force, icy water bursting forth in a thunderous impact that shakes the very foundations of this crystalline battlefield. Yunhuan collapses against the cave wall, his body screaming for rest after 10 grueling years on the 99th floor. The memory of reaching the 98th floor feels like a distant dream compared to this nightmare. A sinister voice echoes through the caverns, asking if he's trying to hide again. The sizzling wound on his arm reminds him that here, even a moment's weakness could mean death. The guardian of the 99th floor emerges, Frostworm Velkasisi, a dragon from the Forgotten Land whose very breath defies maximum cold resistance. Our warrior reflects on how close he's come to death, saved only by the gear left behind by fallen walkers. In his hand gleams the Wormsbane from the 85th floor. Without these remnants of other sacrifice, he would have perished long ago. The Fire King's bracelet pulses with warm light around his wrist, a stark contrast to the icy hell surrounding him. Seal's ghostly image appears, her aqua hair flowing like water, whispering an apology that cuts deeper than any blade. His heart aches with regret. If only he had been stronger, if only he could have changed everything. The weight of loss threatens to crush him more than any monster ever could. In the rustic tavern of Actopos, Jaehwan sits with his mug, startled from his thoughts. The bearded man's question hangs heavy in the air. Will he try again? Jaehwan's response comes without hesitation. He has to. His determination burns brighter than the forge fires outside. This time will be different. This time, he's certain he can beat the guardian that has claimed so many lives before him. The town drowns in a constant stream of broken bodies, walkers who dared to challenge the tower and lost everything. Yet hope flickers in the darkness. Priests lead rescue teams, while blacksmiths work tirelessly at their forges, hammering out free gear for humanity's champions. These people refuse to surrender, even as death becomes their most frequent visitor. Their resilience shines brighter than any weapon they forge. The conversation turns darker as they discuss the tower's impacts. 10 strikes against their world, each one silencing more voices calling for help. The bearded blacksmith's expression grows heavy. There probably aren't any people left outside anymore. His probing question about unusual tower activity carries weight. Something fundamental has changed, and the ominous clang of metal echoes their growing unease. Jaehwan's sharp features betray his concern as he contemplates mysterious writings about towers and nightmares. The disappearance of Old Lady Hiren adds another piece to this sinister puzzle. His companion scratches his head in distress, unable to decipher the cryptic messages. In the shadows, a cloaked figure with a gemstone suggests darker forces at play. The very air seems thick with secrets waiting to be unveiled. Golden light filters through the window as news spreads. A group has descended back down the tower. Hiren from the potion store, one of the few supporters left in Actopos, has vanished without a trace. In the cluttered workshop, Jaehwan casually asks the blacksmith Jae to share his skills. But Jae's sudden command to freeze cuts through the casual atmosphere like a blade, suggesting imminent danger. The muscular man with his hammer taunts about hide-and-seek games coming to an end. In the frosty environment, careful footsteps disturb icy waters as our hero ventures deeper into danger. The magnificent ice creature appears with its menacing grin, acknowledging something unprecedented. No one in the tower's history has ever attempted to conquer the 99th floor alone. Even this monster must admit, this human is truly remarkable. Jaehwan's bitter laughter echoes through the frozen cavern. The last compliment he'll ever receive comes from a monster, not a fellow human being. How pathetically fitting. The ice creature declares that acknowledging a human is impossible, but Jaehwan's confident retort suggests otherwise. The gleam of his weapon catches the light. This monster might want to reconsider its certainty. Underestimating this lone walker could prove fatal. Jaehwan's sharp gaze fixates on his opponent's weakness. That precious armor is starting to crack under pressure. The ice creature's arrogance erupts into a violent surge of energy, twisting through the air like frozen lightning. But our hero has seen enough. His voice cuts through the chaos with deadly calm. He's done messing around. The real battle begins now. The world explodes into chaos and violence. Warning: this episode contains depictions that may disturb some viewers. Massive explosions rock the battlefield, each boom reverberating through the crystalline landscape. Ice and energy collide in devastating displays of power. The very air seems to shatter as forces beyond comprehension clash in this frozen hell. What emerges from this destruction will determine everything. Blood drips steadily onto pristine snow, painting crimson flowers in the white wasteland. Heavy footsteps echo as our muscular warrior approaches the jagged crystal formation, his hands already stained with battle. The crystalline wolf beast emerges with its wicked grin, mocking his persistence. Its taunting words ring hollow. No amount of fighting will change the inevitable outcome. Or so it believes. Jaehwan finds himself trapped within crystalline bonds, the ice creature's words echoing his deepest fears. He'll remain completely alone and miserable. The loud crack suggests these bonds aren't as strong as they appear. The spiky creature wearing sunglasses calls out to him with surprising familiarity. Jaehwan's irritated response about talking too much precedes a spectacular shattering of ice. Sometimes, breaking free requires breaking everything around you. Steel meets ice in a symphony of violence. Jaehwan swings his massive weapon against the creature's crystalline defenses, each clash sending shockwaves through the frozen battlefield. The icy opponent smugly dismisses his techniques as pathetic, questioning if staring is all he's capable of. But Jaehwan reflects on his late start as a tower walker. Missing out on hidden skills and classes has forced him to focus on mastering just one deadly art: stabbing. After piercing enemies roughly 50 million times, Jaehwan achieved something extraordinary. His companions joked about his wasp-like persistence, But this relentless dedication transformed him into the stabbing master among them. His technique evolved with each thrust, becoming faster, more accurate, and devastatingly powerful. What was once simple brutality became a hidden skill that costs almost no energy. Perfection through repetition. Even for a master like Jaehwan, this battle pushes him to his absolute limits. His bloodied form lunges forward, but hundreds of strikes barely scratch the creature's armor. Each futile hit rings out in metallic frustration. His curse echoes across the battlefield as he realizes the horrible truth. When the creature unleashes its blinding roar, panic sets in. It's too late to escape this devastating attack. Recognition flashes across Jaehwan's face like lightning. That light, he remembers it from a 96th floor, the same mysterious radiance that changed everything before. If his memory serves him right, then perhaps his weapon gleams with newfound purpose as he unleashes a primal scream. The air itself seems to respond to his call. Sometimes, the past holds the key to an impossible future. Blood streams down Jaehwan's battered face as rage consumes him. The ice creature's fury matches his own. How dare this little bastard even think of harming him? Jaehwan's frustrated curse reveals the bitter truth. His attack still wasn't strong enough to penetrate that crystalline armor. As the massive icy bird spreads its wings with a thunderous flap, the battlefield trembles. This creature was hoping to decapitate him in one clean strike. Majestic wings of blue and white unfold as the creature prepares its final gambit. Sparkling energy surrounds its form like fallen stars as it declares this attack will count once and for all. The blast erupts with devastating force, piercing the air with raw destruction. Below, Jaehwan leaps desperately away from the aerial assault, his panicked curse echoing across the battlefield. These flying attacks are becoming relentless. Jaehwan's bloodied form trembles with exhaustion and frustration. His desperate curse reveals the horrible reality. He's never going to win like this. The creature's mocking words cut deeper than any blade. With 10 more humans like him, he might have stood a chance. But his fellow humans fell to the Nightmare Stone's deception. Their fate could have been so different. What tragic irony that humanity's greatest enemy was their own desperate hope. Confusion twists Jaehwan's features as he demands answers about the creature's cryptic words. The ice beast strikes with earth-shattering force, sending tremors through the frozen ground. Its menacing growl reverberates as fractures spread beneath them. A massive door groans and shifts with ominous creaking sounds. Jaehwan's heavy breathing echoes as he leans against the barrier, seeking temporary refuge while his mind races to understand what Nightmare Stone truly means. Blood trickles down Jaehwan's face as he realizes how close death came. If that monster had struck him deeper at the end, he'd be nothing but frozen flesh right now. The creature's words about humans being deceived by the Nightmare Stone echo in his mind. Nightmare Stone, what exactly is this mysterious artifact? 5 years pass in the blink of an eye, and the world has transformed into something unrecognizable. Ice explodes in all directions as Jaehwan delivers his final devastating blow. The crystalline landscape shatters like glass as he claims victory. A notification appears. He has earned the title Nightmare of the 99th floor. His exhausted sigh speaks volumes about the cost of this achievement. The irony isn't lost on him as he comments about the constant pop-up notifications. Even in his moment of triumph, the system won't leave him alone. Standing among the eerie, crystalline formations that resemble massive claws, Jaehwan's confusion deepens. What the hell are Nightmare Stones? A mysterious voice responds cryptically. He already knows the answer. As he examines a strange object in his hands, uncertainty clouds his judgment. Is it a sword? The shape seems wrong, more like a dagger. His realization hints at deeper mysteries yet to be uncovered in this frozen wasteland. Water bubbles and splashes ominously around Jaehwan as he surveys his surroundings. Waves roar in the background, suggesting something momentous approaches. His eyes narrow with curiosity. What's this gate-like formation? Recognition dawns in his voice as he realizes this is it, the final floor. After everything he's endured, all the battles and losses, he stands at the threshold of the ultimate challenge. Time to discover what secrets lie within. The watery environment swirls with tumultuous energy as Jaehwan prepares for his next move. In the control room, systems monitor the unfolding events. The title card announces the world after the fall with dramatic flair. A warning appears about the violence to come. His determined voice echoes, "Let's see what's in there." With that declaration, he plunges forward, creating a massive splash that will change everything. The title, "The World After the Fall," looms against darkness as reality shifts around our hero. Jaehwan emerges partially submerged, his wide eyes reflecting confusion and vulnerability. Water splashes around him as consciousness returns. His bewildered question hangs in the air. What is this place? The sound of dun punctuates the tension as a shadowy figure stands before a wall of mysterious images, suggesting memories or visions from his journey. Jaehwan's worry etches deep lines across his face as he questions whether this transformed landscape represents the tower's current state. The ruins stretch before him, bathed in soft, eerie light. An unseen voice mentions calls from the tower and Actopos. Recognition strikes. Someone has arrived sooner than expected. The voice assumed he would visit the town first, but fate had other plans for this weary warrior. The system interface glows before Jaehwan as he critiques its fancy appearance versus its outdated functionality. A congratulations message reveals his historic achievement, the first person from World 294 to complete the tutorial game. His accomplishment will be immortalized in the Akashic records, accessible only to masters of the Great Realm. But what does any of this mean? Below, a red-haired figure struggles in dark water, intensifying the mystery. A massive splash disrupts the water surface as someone crashes through. A stylishly dressed figure in black emerges, noting with surprise how shocked our hero appears. Their warning carries ominous weight. Don't let fear consume you too much, otherwise emotions might devour you entirely. The environment rumbles threateningly as if responding to these words. The turbulent waters swirl around their feet, reflecting the chaos building within. A mysterious figure with wild, dark curls and predatory yellow eyes emerges from shadow. Water droplets fall like tears around them as they mutter cryptically about being too late. Another voice offers bittersweet consolation. Don't be upset. You performed remarkably well for a human. The droplets seem to freeze in time before culminating in a powerful splash. The atmosphere drips with tension and unspoken threats. Jaehwan's anxiety reaches new heights as he confronts this shadowy figure with glowing yellow eyes. The demon, named Basibrian, expresses genuine happiness at their meeting. No one has ever reached the tutorial's top alone before. His enthusiastic introduction carries an edge of danger. Where are his manners? He was simply overjoyed to finally meet someone who achieved the impossible. But demons rarely celebrate human achievement without ulterior motives. The demonic figure with his haunting blue visage and wild hair reveals the truth about Jaehwan's victory. If he's the master, then what he just defeated doesn't matter. The game isn't even the real beginning. Jaehwan's realization dawns slowly as the demon offers to show him something important. A sharp snap changes everything as multiple figures appear, confused and startled. Their questions echo. What's this game-like phenomenon they're witnessing? Jaehwan stands bewildered in the bright chamber, questioning a mysterious door's purpose. 3 companions surround him, warriors who fought their own battles and lost their own friends. He introduces himself with humble honesty. Jaehwan from Seoul, South Korea, who fought hard with a sword. Their conversation turns bittersweet as they reflect on battles they'll never see again. But excitement builds. Something important is coming up soon in their shared journey. Jaehwan's bloodied grin reveals a painful truth. No one had any idea back then about the heart-wrenching tragedy that awaited them. A lifeless figure lies motionless as someone pleads desperately for them to open their eyes. The dark-haired warrior's expression shifts between sadness and anger, questioning these overwhelming emotions. The offer to start this game overcarries weight beyond simple repetition. Some wounds cut deeper than any blade ever could. The shadowy demon's predatory grin widens as he speaks of beginnings that feel more like thrillers than movies. This represents a chance to fulfill all aspirations, he claims with dark enthusiasm. Jaehwan's anxious eyes dart around as reality shifts. This isn't the end he expected. His childhood dream of saving the world by climbing the tower crumbles as digital notifications offer him a choice. Become a tower walker, accept or decline. The looming shadow reveals the horrible truth. This was all just a trick from the very start. There never was a way to stop the tower impacts. All they could do was keep climbing, hoping against hope that their sacrifice meant something. The group of cloaked figures discusses their grim reality with urgent gestures. Yet in the final panel, bright light radiates with the promise of saving humanity, suggesting hope might still flicker in this darkest hour. Desperate hands reach skyward as golden light beams down, each one stained with blood and dirt, grasping for their only hope. The dark-haired warrior expresses doubt, while a menacing figure questions whether he's sure about managing alone. Their final exchange carries the weight of finality. He's not going back, no matter the cost. The golden atmosphere contrasts sharply with the dark figure's presence, highlighting the choice between light and shadow. The blue creature's enormous mouth opens in mocking laughter, its sharp teeth gleaming with malicious glee. Swirling light effects amplify its ferocity as it ridicules those still hung up about the past. The rugged man faces this monster with unwavering determination, even as it declares with absolute certainty, there is no item in this tower or the great realm that can reverse time. But certainty has been wrong before, hasn't it? Jaehwan's worried expression deepens as he mentions finding a regression stone in the tower. The shadowy figure with glowing eyes dismisses his hope. Those humans were devoured by the nightmare stone, not saved by regression. A sudden flash of vibrant yellow light disrupts their conversation as our hero makes a sharp correction. The ethereal background intensifies the drama. It's not a regression stone at all. The truth is far more sinister. The glowing purple crystal pulses with malevolent energy as the sinister figure explains its true nature, a nightmare stone. Those who lost their lives weren't sent back in time. They're trapped forever in dramatic illusions created by this cursed artifact. Jaehwan's reflection carries weight as he admits understanding the desperate desire to return to the past. Even demons, it seems, can comprehend the crushing weight of human regret and loss. The hooded character congratulates Jaehwan on taking the revelation so well, eager to begin the main game. But when the choice appears to return to the past, a finger decisively presses no. The truth becomes clear. They're not returning to the past, just restarting the game. The demon assumes he'll make the rational choice, but Jaehwan's newfound understanding about the tower's true nature changes everything. Some choices cut deeper than others. The Nightmare Tower stands revealed as the fortress of regret, created by the dream demon Malak. Jaehwan's intense eyes reflect the crushing realization. He was already trapped in a dream created by the tower itself. Everything he believed, every battle he fought, was part of an elaborate illusion. The blue creature's ominous "so now" precedes Jaehwan's fierce declaration as he steps into dark water. He's going to kill this architect of deception. Standing at the threshold of the next floor, Jaehwan's determination burns brighter than ever before. His tattered cloak and battle-worn appearance tell the story of everything he's endured. The shimmering lights around him suggest movement to another level of existence. His command echoes with finality, onto the next floor. But his murderous intent lingers like a promise. This demon will pay for its deception with its life. Gripping his sword with deadly intent, Jaehwan speaks of advancing to the next floor. But the blue-faced demon declares this is the end for the tower, its sharp teeth gleaming with dark amusement. Jaehwan's trust in this creature has shattered completely. He doesn't believe anything it says anymore. A large creature with menacing claws prepares to strike as the red-cloaked figure mockingly asks what he desires. The demon offers anything, but some prices are too high to pay. The hooded figure declares with finality that he doesn't need any of that crap, his sword gleaming with righteous fury. The monstrous entity asks if he doesn't want to return to his old world, dangling the ultimate temptation. But revelation strikes. If the Nightmare Tower was just a dream, then there never was a tower impact at all. Confused voices ask what this means, as cheerful ones worry about being late for something as mundane as movie tickets. Shock ripples through the group as tousled brown hair and worried expressions process this sudden revelation. Movement zips past with urgent whoosh effects while a robust man finds himself caught in dynamic motion. But nearby, a serene group includes a woman holding a child and an elderly man, their expressions surprisingly calm or amused. The stark contrast asks a haunting question. Are you surprised? Because the truth is, no one here is real. In this sterile medical facility, rows of beds stretch into darkness like a graveyard of dreams. Jaehwan's companion reveals the most important truth. The patients lie unconscious, trapped in their nightmare-induced slumber. The figure in the hospital bed, wearing an oxygen mask, stares up in shock and confusion. The question that escapes their lips carries the weight of shattered identity. Is that me? The mirror of reality reflects only broken dreams and stolen lives. The dark-haired warrior grips his blade with unwavering resolve. His opponent taunts him. Decades have passed in this realm, yet only a month in his world. But Jaehwan's eyes burn with defiance. That monstrous dragon-like face with razor teeth looms before him, promising defeat. Yet something flickers across Jaehwan's features. A slight smirk, the kind that says he's already won. The hooded figure's confidence cuts through the air like his blade. He declares with chilling certainty, he's already defeated a dragon. The monstrous creature laughs, sharp blue teeth gleaming with arrogance. But laughter turns to shock as steel thrusts forward with deadly precision. The word thrust echoes like a battle cry. This isn't just defiance. This is the beginning of the world after the fall. Jay opens the door, his appearance telling a story of endless struggle. Disheveled hair, ragged clothing, exhaustion carved into every line of his face. Day 72. The same demon, the same failure. His voice carries the weight of countless defeats as he admits the truth. No matter what he tries, he can't even scratch it. The sound of clang echoes his futile efforts. The dark-haired warrior struggles with inner conflict, blood staining his weathered face. His companion warns him not to kill. The target is valuable merchandise, a special product. The calm menace in that blue-toothed grin chills the air. The warrior fights to maintain control, knowing that staying calm is his only option. But how much longer can he resist the urge to end this twisted game? A shadowy hand scatters seeds into darkness. The cultivation begins. Demons carefully select their products during the tutorial, like farmers choosing the finest crops. The real ripening happens in the main game, with watering and fertilizing of carefully chosen seeds. But frustration builds in the warrior's mind. How can he possibly advance to the next stage? Should he cut his losses and kill him? Hanging upside down, illuminated by ethereal blue light, a voice ponders existence itself. Killing the tower doesn't affect the soul. But what if the soul is damaged by overwhelming power? Menacing eyes pierce through darkness as shadowy figures watch. A casual voice dismisses the harvester's potential displeasure. Strategy becomes paramount. Calculate the next move, ensure complete disarmament, and climb the demon ranks. Water splashes with violent force. Ugh, not again. The familiar frustration of endless repetition. Combat erupts with clang echoing through the air as the dark figure moves with acrobatic precision. Anger boils over in questions. What do you want? Why are you doing this? The grim response cuts deep. It's a win-win situation for everyone but your hide. Another round in this hellish cycle begins. Thunder rumbles ominously as the bloodied warrior tenses his muscles. A menacing HMHPH echoes from the shadows. His sharp gaze focuses on the threat ahead. Snap! Tension breaks like a wire. Rumble! The earth itself trembles. With desperate resolve, he swings his weapon in a powerful swish. The ground erupts in a massive boom, energy exploding in all directions. This is his moment. Bruised and bloodied, the young warrior presses against jagged rocks. Desperation creeps into his voice as he pleads for answers. Why do you want to summon this? The helmeted figure looms over him with threatening authority, promising to drag him back for the next floor. But the warrior's mind races. He knew something was wrong. Holding out until his opponent grew desperate. That was worth the pain. In a cosmic realm filled with floating celestial bodies, a shadowy figure with glowing yellow eyes addresses Jaehwan directly. The revelation unfolds. His universe consists of multiple dimensions, parallel realms existing alongside Earth. Jaehwan listens with mixture of curiosity and acceptance as the figure explains worlds scattered throughout these planes. They call it Worlds 2986. The vast universe holds skills and items beyond imagination, including the fearsome Nightmare Tower. A glowing crystal tower pierces the darkness, magnificent and terrifying. The voice explains how walkers adapt to the great realm's crystals, earning chances to advance to new worlds. Demons like him exist to raise gamblers in this cosmic game. A spectral figure holds a dazzling crystal while countless eyes observe from the shadows. But when the young man questions this system, a massive maw with razor teeth appears, snapping with predatory hunger. Before the towering Nightmare Tower, bathed in red shadows and desolation, questions burn in the air. Of all the peripheral worlds, why did the entity appear here and summon this monstrosity? The dark-haired protagonist's eyes narrow with deep reflection. A figure in a long coat gestures, as if revealing cosmic secrets. The spectral entity's animalistic face grins with sharp teeth, taunting about curiosity. The world was being annihilated by conjoining. Blood drips from fresh wounds as the young warrior confronts his captor about the Nightmare Tower's true purpose. What do they gain from this torment? The shadowy figure with yellow eyes and razor-teeth grins with disturbing pleasure. Like volunteer work, he says with chilling casualness. Smoke manifestations swirl around them in the dimly lit tower. The dark figure continues his taunting, each word dripping with malevolent satisfaction. The figure speaks of paradise, a place where humans, beasts, and demons live in harmony. His shark-like mask gleams with blue teeth as he gestures confidently. But Jaehwan's skeptical gaze cuts through the facade. When a message appears warning about a master product not ready for collection, urgency fills the air. Jaehwan's response is blunt and decisive. Bullshit. The cosmic setting trembles with tension as truth and deception collide. In a harsh, icy wasteland, Jaehwan clutches a glowing orange crystal with trembling hands. Blood trickles down his exhausted face as he reflects on his maxed-out abilities. All his power, all his training, and yet he still can't defeat the demon. His beige cloak is tattered from countless battles. The monstrous yellow eyes loom in his memory, a reminder of his repeated failures. What more does he need? Among jagged ice formations that pierce the desolate sky, the bloodied warrior questions his own limitations. Are these stats really not enough for a human to beat a demon? His heart pounds with a sudden BA bump of realization. Maybe it's this world's system that's holding him back. A slight smirk touches his lips as understanding dawns. But then, something strange, a feeling he's never experienced before awakens within him. Crystalline formations shimmer with ethereal beauty around the bruised warrior. His hand extends toward mysterious particles of light. Could this be an illusion? Yellow orbs burst from his grasp as energy cascades through the air. The word Nagel echoes through the chamber as understanding floods his mind. These particles, sometimes they're fine, almost invisible, but now he can see them, feel them, comprehend their true nature in this nightmare realm. A sly smirk crosses disheveled features as the conversation turns to power structures. The shadowy figure in elaborate robes emerges from swirling reds and blacks, discussing the masters, rulers of the great realm. Ghostly claws rise toward the sky like monuments to authority. These masters hold the keys to the journey ahead, offering party recommendations to those deemed worthy. But the dark-haired warrior's expression remains skeptical, questioning the very notion of such recommendations. In the suffocating darkness, sharp teeth gleam with predatory satisfaction. The sinister figure speaks of futures, depending on which master you choose, but only if you voluntarily play the main game. The second character retorts with cutting honesty. You sound like an insurance salesman. The predator's grin widens at the accusation. Reluctant compliance hangs heavy in the air as manipulation, disguised as choice, tightens its grip around unwilling participants. Wind sweeps across the icy wasteland with a fierce whoosh as determination crystallizes. The cloaked warrior's voice cuts through the cold. In exactly 10 days, I'll leave this place. His resolve is unshakable. 9 days later, transformation complete, fitted in black shirt and trousers, sword gleaming. A grotesque creature falls before his blade with a thunderous FW. The countdown has begun, and he's no longer the same man. Cracked ground reflects fractured thoughts as sweat beads on the warrior's forehead. Frustration boils over. For Christ's sake. The shadowy entity's yellow eyes burn with rage as smoke tendrils writhe around its form. Those dream demons tricked him into buying this damn tower. Sneaky bastards promised expert-level craftsmanship, but delivered first-generation junk instead. The slam of fury echoes through the realm as deception's true cost becomes clear. The brown-jacketed man points accusingly at the consent screen, his frustration mounting. That skull-masked figure with gray skin smiles slyly. The tower was supposed to be a steal, but this first-generation piece of junk won't start without the product's consent. A ghostly figure slumps in despair nearby. The bitter truth settles in. This is what he gets for being poor. At least the damn thing works somewhat. Digital interfaces flicker to life, displaying files about the Tree of Illusion and the Great Realm. The sinister figure with razor teeth asks if he's memorized everything sent earlier. The cloaked figure responds with cautious gratitude. A proposal appears on screen. Return to World 294 with all memories intact. But first, a question that carries the weight of eternity. Will he accept? The game master waits for an answer that will change everything. Wild hair frames an emotional face as the suited figure admits he's been waiting for this day for so long. Tears nearly come to his eyes, but chaos erupts with a massive boom as everything changes. Black dress, shoes stride through the destruction. A voice calls out, Jaehwan, what do you think you're doing? The warrior stands with sword drawn, hair tousled by the whoosh of battle winds. The long-awaited moment has finally arrived. Jaehwan's grip tightens on his blade as fury and determination merge in his gaze. Can't you tell? His voice carries deadly certainty. As of this moment, he lunges forward with explosive force, the word JB marking his commitment. He's going to keep attacking. Bright particles swirl around him like stars being born. Ever since he started seeing these particles, everything has changed. The rules no longer apply to him. Internal thoughts reveal the source of his frustration. His stabs haven't felt right. Every attempt against the demon felt off, unnatural. But something was awakening in him, a weird sense growing stronger. With a powerful swoosh, he moves with newfound purpose. His weapon erupts in brilliant light, glimmer and slash marking the moment. A strange awareness floods his consciousness as understanding dawns like sunrise after endless night. In a space filled with static electricity and swirling energy, a profound realization washes over him. Is this what it feels like to be alive? His arm stretches towards something beyond comprehension as dark tendrils and electric blue energy dance around him. The mysterious figure in black stands amid the glowing landscape, connected to the tree of illusion and the great realm. The moment pulses with electric purpose as true existence reveals itself. Wild hair frames intense features as the suited figure admits the truth. He's never met anyone like this before. A shadowy hand reaches toward him with deadly intent. The antagonist's blue elements pulse with menace as he taunts. You don't have a choice anyway. Shadowy tentacles squeeze with crushing force as the villain reveals his abandonment of consent long ago. The weary defender's voice carries grim certainty. This twisted game will continue forever. Deep within the Nightmare Tower's bowels, a shadowy figure with flowing hair delivers a chilling warning. There's something crucial about this tower. If time passes after completing the tutorial, the game ends automatically. The tense warrior grips his sword as truth cuts deeper. In the great realm, they call him something else, something that makes demons tremble. A hand grips tightly, preparing for what's to come. They call him a monster. Before a tall figure wrapped in cables and wearing a mechanical mask, the truth spills forth. 798 years old, 128 worlds visited, memories and desires forgotten in becoming what he is now. The brown-jacketed warrior's expression shifts from guilt to fierce determination, that cocky smirk returning. He was planning to hand him over to the master of darkness, the harbinger of guilt. Time is running out. His voice cuts through the tension like a blade, but not anymore. Disheveled hair frames determination as energy builds around him. Then chaos, kaboom, as explosive force tears through the air. Motion lines and bright flashes fill the space with destructive beauty. The world after the fall title appears against darkness, marking a fundamental shift. A stage of awakening begins as everything the demons built starts to crumble.
Wild Hair frames a menacing grin as he declares the truth with savage satisfaction. He's the product they've been cultivating for decades. But not anymore. The words hang in the air like a death sentence. Then violence. Boom shakes the foundations as his declaration becomes reality. KA signals rapid movement through chaos. A sharp ping marks the aftermath as the air itself trembles with the weight of his transformation.
Within Nightmare Tower's twisted depths, chaos erupts as the muscular fighter unleashes devastating force. Light emanates from his strike as he battles the shadowy figure. Swift motion blazes across panels with HOSH marking his speed. But clawed hands emerge from darkness, retaliating with a vicious slash. Metal rings against claw with clang as the confrontation reaches fever pitch. Blue light and darkness swirl in this surreal battlefield of willpower. Debris explodes around the brown-jacketed warrior as his attack creates shockwaves with a thunderous thud. Blue energy crackles like lightning as shock fills his voice. How on earth could this happen? The masked figure with glowing yellow eyes observes with curiosity and concern. Energy intensifies with a dramatic swoosh as realization dawns. They're caught in an anomaly, something that shouldn't exist but does. Reality itself is fracturing around them. Shadowy energy swirls around a muscular figure in black as DUDUN echoes through the chaos. His dark hair falls around powerful shoulders, radiating otherworldly strength. Beside him, a serious figure with light brown hair appears amid golden swirling light. Behind them, faded memories and imagery create a nostalgic collage. Ever since that day when he first reached the 100th floor, everything changed. The weight of that journey, those battles, those impossible choices. On ruined ground, the cloaked warrior questions his own strength. He's wondered, maybe the demon can't even kill him. Despite his max stats, victory remains elusive. His wild hair and worn outfit tell stories of countless battles. As he lies contemplating, the fabric of the world seems to come apart at the seams around him. After all that wondering, all that fighting, perhaps the answers lie beyond mere statistics and power levels. The muscular combatant strikes with devastating force, energy bursting from his attack as shadows whirl around him. The impact creates a resounding smoosh that shakes the tower's foundations. A dark, wolf-like creature prepares its counterattack, sharp fangs gleaming with predatory hunger. But something fundamental has shifted. When there was no longer any shred of doubt, limitations began to fall away. A system notification confirms it. Sync limitation temporarily lifted. Yellow eyes glow with menace as the monstrous figure looms in the first panel. Combat erupts in a symphony of destruction. Crash, clang, slash, as the brown-jacketed warrior fights with desperate intensity. Blood stains his clothes, but determination burns brighter. His unseen opponent grudgingly admits surprise, reaching the second stage of adaptation so quickly after finishing the tutorial is unprecedented. Jaehwan's defiant response cuts through the chaos. You can't hate me for being human. Blood streams from deep wounds as the muscular warrior wonders if this is truly the end. His hand slides against a bloody surface, painting crimson evidence of the brutal fight. But his fist clenches with renewed resolve. No, this isn't over. A countdown begins as he declares with unwavering determination. I'm going to keep stabbing. The sound of clang reverberates as he turns to face whatever comes next, defiance radiating from every fiber. The number 9,999,999,999 blazes across the scene as the bloodied warrior wields his luminous weapon against the demon. Taunting voices claim he's only hurting himself, that he'll play the main game anyway. But as his blade flashes forward, the numbers transform. 10 billion. He's surpassed his human limits, and with that transcendence, the very rules of reality begin to crumble before his eyes. The game itself cannot contain what he's becoming. A glowing figure transcends amid shards of darkness, pale hair flowing like starlight. After suspecting and understanding the world around him, he finally escaped the definitions imposed by this realm. For the first time, he felt truly human. The darker entity embodies confusion and chaos, but the enlightened being understands now. All the things that never made sense before. It's a link, a connection that reveals the true nature of this cosmic game. Amid swirling ice and debris, the brown-jacketed warrior prepares another strike. The connection between demon and tower pulses with distant energy. He dashes forward with explosive speed, then leaps into the air, twisting and flipping with expert precision. His hair flows upward as blue ice shards illuminate his athletic form. But just before the climactic moment, shock fills his expression. What the? Something is happening that defies all expectations. A powerful energy beam erupts from the darkness, contrasting against blue and white mystical forces. The shadowy entity with glowing blue eyes and razor teeth makes a chilling declaration. This isn't just adaptation. This belief echoes through the realm as someone cries out, "How could this be?" The impact hits with devastating wham as reality itself seems to buckle. Energy sparks and crackles with BZT, enveloping everything in dangerous electric urgency. The demon's ROAR shakes the foundations as the bloodied warrior struggles against overwhelming force. Bright blue light bursts forth from their collision, illuminating the supernatural battlefield. He grunts, "URGH," as jagged claws tear through the air toward him. But even pressed to his limits, he steadies himself with that luminous weapon. His voice cuts through the chaos with commanding authority. Listen carefully. The time for explanations has come. Blood trails down his face as indignation burns his eyes. Has he awoken to his true nature? His voice carries righteous fury. Human beings aren't commodities for demons to trade. The The small black creature with glowing yellow eyes represents everything he despises about this system. He refuses to play their manipulative game anymore. His declaration rings with finality. He's going to destroy this place, tear down everything they've built. Amid shattered glass and debris, blood marks his face like war paint. His brown jacket is torn from countless battles, but his resolve remains unbreakable. He vows to climb all the way to the top, to confront whatever awaits at the summit. Light begins to illuminate the destruction around him as glass shards scatter with each rumble. When he reaches that peak, he'll finally see it, the end of this damned world the demons created. Light shards illuminate the darkness as a desperate voice pleads for mercy. But the cloaked warrior with his glowing ice-blue blade responds with unwavering certainty. And no, there is. His defiance isn't mere stubborn resistance. Crystal shards reflect brilliant beams as he stands ready for battle. Near ancient inscriptions, another character observes the unfolding confrontation. The warrior's determination cuts deeper than any blade. He knows something the others don't. Throughout the tower, cryptic messages have been discovered on the 4th floor. The dark-haired warrior in his fitted black outfit examines the inscriptions thoughtfully, his hair slightly tousled from recent battles. These must be messages from Malak, creator of the original Nightmare Tower. He speaks of the top of the Tree of Illusion, while holding crucial documentation. They've reached the roots, but what does he plan to do now? The stakes have never been higher. Blood marks his face like a badge of honor as he channels overwhelming energy. Through that ceiling, he roars, blue power swirling around his determined form. The massive blast erupts with a deafening boom, sending fragments flying in all directions. The whoosh of destruction echoes as another voice cries out in despair. "And oh, my tower!" The system begins calculating tutorial game records as everything the demons built starts to crumble into digital fragments. Blue-tinted error messages flood the screen as system calculations fail catastrophically. Failed to complete game blazes an orange urgency across the display. The tutorial has ended completely, all protocols shattered. In the aftermath, the dark-haired warrior stands alone at the edge of a tropical paradise. Sweat and dirt mark his face as he clutches something in his hand, sighing deeply. Lush foliage and filtered sunlight surround him, a stark contrast to the digital nightmare he's just escaped. But paradise has teeth. In the shadowy depths of this new realm, something monstrous stalks through the foliage. Red eyes burn like hellfire. Razor fangs glisten with hunger. The creature's massive form crashes through the underbrush, each footfall a promise of violence. And there, relief turns to terror as our warrior realizes he's found exactly what he was searching for. The beast leaps. The wolf strikes with primal fury, glowing eyes locked on its prey, fangs bared for the killing blow. Jaehwan meets its charge head-on, determination carved into every line of his face. Steel meets flesh with a sickening slash. But even as his blade finds its mark, doubt creeps in. A shallow stab won't be enough against this nightmare. The beast's power is overwhelming. His sword cuts through the air with deadly precision. Blood sprays in crimson arcs as monsters fall before him. Normal stabs, enhanced strikes, each blow calculated and lethal. Energy crackles around his arm like lightning given form. When the dust settles, Jaehwan stands victorious among the corpses. His verdict is swift and brutal. The monsters here are weak. But is his confidence misplaced? Then everything changes. Humans emerge from the shadows. But are they really? Green-skinned beasts in white robes, their teeth like broken glass. They speak in tongues he cannot comprehend. Precious horned beasts, they growl with predatory hunger. Jaehwan's suspicion flares. Even his enhanced abilities can't decode their alien language. He offers a bargain, holding up a horn. Information for treasure. Diplomacy dies in the forest shadows. The green creature lunges with murderous intent. Jaehwan's blue sword gleams as he readies his counter. One warning. That's all they get. When they ignore it, death becomes inevitable. Time to die. he declares with cold finality. His blade cuts through the air. The creature screams in an alien tongue, but violence is universal. The wolf thrashes in his iron grip, red eyes blazing with helpless fury. "I'll kill you, human!" it snarls, desperation bleeding through every word. But Jaehwan holds firm, his strength absolute. The beast bites its own tongue in rage, a futile gesture of defiance. As he studies his captive, realization dawns. They're not as strong as he expected. But what does that mean? In the aftermath of violence, mysteries unfold. Strange sticks protrude from the earth like grave markers. Jaehwan examines a dimensional sack, an inventory system from another world. 70 cubic feet of storage space, but no interface to guide him. He curses the limitations of this realm. Then hope appears, colorful gemstones labeled Stone of Fallen Souls, each one a fragment of something greater. The stones shimmer like captured starlight, valuable beyond measure. Jeweler's tools, perhaps, or something far more sinister. Jaehwan weighs his options, inventory space precious in this hostile realm. But then, a sound cuts through the silence. Buzz. The forest holds its breath. Something massive approaches through the undergrowth. His hand moves to his weapon. The hunt begins anew. Curiosity overtakes caution as Jaehwan examines his spoils. How does this taste? He wonders, crunching through fallen leaves. Glass fragments catch his eye, and beneath them, age parchment. A map. But this wasn't among the demon's gifts. Something else left this here. The word chaos stares up at him from the yellowed paper. A name, a place, a warning. The growling returns with doubled intensity. In the dense foliage, something moves with predatory grace. A flash of red hair, black leather, and burning eyes. She rushes forward like a crimson tornado, a woman forged in violence and fire. Her speed is inhuman, debris flying in her wake. Each step shakes the very ground beneath her feet. Who is this warrior goddess? Stab. Pain explodes through Jaehwan's knee as the newcomer strikes. But even wounded, he can't help but admire her skill. "I'll let it slide because she's cute," he growls through gritted teeth. Her apology seems genuine, until terror grips his companions' faces. Behind her, they scream. A shadow falls across the forest. Two horns pierce the canopy. The real monster has arrived. Chaos erupts as the red-haired woman flees from a dragon-like nightmare, its teeth like broken swords. From the rocks above, a cloaked observer watches in disbelief. How did these fighters ever conquer the Nightmare Tower? They're going to get themselves killed. But then, fire blooms in the forest. Fire King's breath. The spiky-haired warrior unleashes hell itself. Blood and flame paint the battlefield. Insults fly faster than fists. The red-haired woman grins wickedly as Jaehwan curses her interference. "Just trying to help." She laughs, but her help nearly got him killed. When the beast roars again, teamwork becomes survival. "Watch out," he shouts, leaping from the cliff in a shower of dust and determination. His blade gleams blue. Another shallow stab approaches. Blood spatters like crimson rain. The monster's face contorts in agony, wild red hair whipping as it screams. The ground trembles and cracks under the force of battle. Dust swirls into choking clouds. Through it all, a lone figure emerges, red hair flowing like a battle banner, muscles coiled for war. In the shadows, another warrior raises a glowing blue weapon. The real fight begins now. Victory tastes of blood and broken dreams. The grotesque beast lies defeated, its threat finally ended. "Sundo," Jaehwan calls out, recognizing an old companion in this nightmare realm. The red-haired woman eyes the monster's horns with calculating greed. "Are these valuable?" she asks with playful cunning. A two-horned beast's remains are worth a fortune. Even in chaos, profit calls. But questions burn hotter than flames. The red-haired woman turns on the mysterious cloaked figure. "Who are you?" she demands, suspicion sharp as any blade. There are hardly any adapted players who could beat a two-horned beast with just stabbing. Her challenge hangs in the air. The stranger's response is a single word that changes everything. Chaos. His smirk suggests he knows far more than he's saying. The final question burns between them like wildfire. What's chaos? Jaehwan asks, his piercing gaze locked on the red-haired warrior. Her surprise is genuine. How can he not know? The forest holds its breath. Silence stretches like a taut wire. And in that moment, everything that came before becomes prologue. The world after the fall is about to reveal its darkest secrets.